welcome back to another episode of Musical Chairs with me, Cheer Up Charlie. And today I have the wonderful, the glamorous, the darling, the person that's been on the front page of our screens for many years, the icon that is Harriet Thorpe! Woo woo!
I think that's the best intro I've ever had. I need you to record it so I can use it for everything, please.
Thank you. So, are you ready for some funny questions, some interesting questions, and some serious questions?
100%.
Well, let's get right into it then. Was the arts always encouraged, and has it always been your passion?
I remember when I was a little girl, the first awareness I had of it was trying to make my sister laugh. And that feeling when she was a little baby and I was about 3, that feeling of getting her to laugh, that instinct to perform, that's when I became conscious of it. And that feeling of performing. And I also remember doing a nativity play at school when I was one of the angels. I never got to be the lead angel, sadly. I think it's Gabriel, isn't it? But I was one of the angels in a sort of dress with a bit of tinsel. Again, I love that feeling. And I remember my mummy telling me that I was pointing at my lipstick because I was wearing a bit of lipstick for the nativity play. Goodness knows why, but anyway, I was. And so always I've loved performing. And we used to do, when I was little, my sister and I and our friends where we lived, used to put on endless shows that I think bored our parents witless, but we did anyway. So I think I've always done it. You don't have a choice. No. With the arts, no. With creativity, with performing, it's not a choice, it's in you. And that's the deal.
Yep. Very true, yeah. I know you were a trained dancer, but did you have any formal acting and singing school?
Yes, absolutely. I went to the Royal Ballet School when I was just 16, the upper school. And then I went to Rambert School after that. And I then went to drama school. And I think it's important, it doesn't matter, many people don't need to go to drama school, but I think it's helpful because you learn to make mistakes, and you only learn when you make a mistake. You don't learn when you're doing everything right. When I go wrong, that's when I learn things. And it's important.
Yeah. It's important to make mistakes.
Have to.
What was your first break and how old were you?
My mum was a writer, and so I grew up in Hollywood when I was a little girl, and but my dad also worked in the industry. He was an actor. At 14 years old, in the war, he left home and went off to join Italia Conti in a show called Where the Rainbow Ends when he was 14. On his own, came down to London from Bournemouth, where he lived, and went all around England touring during the war. And when he was 90, he's now 94, I took him to the Victoria and Albert Museum, and they have records, all the old programmes and everything. And I found a programme and a review in the stage of him. So he was involved in the arts as well, and is also a writer now, and was a ballet critic for about 25 years for the Evening Standard. He was working in adverts, and I remember doing a Purcell advert with my sister, and I had to sit in a pram. So I was really young, and I would say that was my first break. But the other things, my real break is, I suppose, when I left drama school and went to Rep Theatre, and that was the Nufford Theatre in Southampton, which very sadly, because of this coronavirus, has gone into receivership, so it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh.
But that was 6 months work, and you did a new play or a musical every few weeks, and you just kept learning one, doing the other, learning the next one, playing the other. You just kept going and going for 6 months. It was the most amazing training ground.
That's really cool. I know you have appeared in a lot of comedy shows. How did you get into the comedy side, and does this mean you're actually funny?
I'd like to swear now, but I won't. I really hope so. I don't know. I think again, yes, I love being funny. I love, even now I've just joined TikTok, and I know the age there is 15 to 17, and I'm busy doing little comedy videos because I like it. I was really lucky to go to drama school with Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French, where they did the most amazing comedy all the time. And when they started French and Saunders, I went and did a load of comedy sketches with them, which was fantastic. And that's how I got into comedy. And then I auditioned for a part on a show called the BRITTAS EMPIRE, which is set in a sports centre. You weren't born, but we did do it for about 7 years. We had millions of viewers, and where I played a receptionist who kept her babies in the drawers of the sports centre. And so those were my big comedy breaks. And then, of course, Absolutely Fabulous, another iconic comedy show. And most of the people I ever play are crazy. And even in the musicals that I don't play anybody normal. They're always potty. You know, they're evil, like Madame Morrible, or they're kind of a bit flirty and funny, like Tanya, or Mrs. Lovett, who chops up people and puts them in our pies, you know, or Madame Thénardier, you know, who, you know, they're all crazy ladies. So I don't ever play anyone normal, Charlie.
Who is the most inspiring and favourite person you've had the pleasure to work with?
It's a really hard question because everybody gives you something different. There is no one way to do anything and no one perfect person. And I learn all the time from everybody I work with. And I love it that I am still able to do that. And my friends are young people and old people. And that's what I love. And of course, I'm an old person now. But I think that I adored working with Dame Sian Phillips. She's so funny and we have a great sort of friendship and laugh still. Obviously, Jen and Dawn. Victoria Wood was another great friend of mine and worked with her. And I'm privileged to work with everybody I work with. We're so lucky to have this wonderful theatrical family.
Yeah, because that's all the theatre is. It's just one big family, one big tribe.
And when I do my show at night, every night, I was in Wicked for 2 years, that I would call my nighttime family because I had my own kids, but then I have my nighttime family in the evening. And yeah, we are, as I've said many a time, we are a tribe, and that's the thing that keeps us going.
Yeah.
And we're inclusive and accepting and non-judgmental. There are difficult people everywhere, that's standard. Yeah. But in the main, the thrust of our industry is acceptance, creativity, and laughs.
Do you prefer being on the stage, TV, musicals, or chat shows?
Well, again, that's a really interesting question. And my answer is a little boring because I love them all.
What is there still left for you to do that you would really like to do?
Well, that's what I think is interesting. I never want to stop. I want to do everything. And I don't want to have to do one thing or another. There's nothing. It's whatever is next, I will love doing. I don't care what it is. You know, in theatre, we were saying earlier about that feeling of hearing an audience come in as you're putting your makeup on, getting ready for a show. I love that moment so much. I love that time. I love performing live. I love performing in film and television, because as I said, when it goes wrong, you can fix it. But I also, there's not one thing. I just want to work. I just love working. And when I'm not working, I will always create something for myself to do, which is why I'm doing the show Wonderbirds at the moment with some friends, which is a chat show 4 times a week on YouTube and Facebook. And it's to keep creative because it's who we are, isn't it?
When you were growing up, was bullying as common as it is today? And did you ever suffer from it?
Yes, I think there's always, that's been there and it's inherent in every culture. And as we know, it's all about other people's fear and limitations. But people are always judgmental and you're never enough.
No.
And certainly in a dance world, you have to be a very specific shape. You know, you have to have the right feet or the right body. And it's not a sort of, you know, so therefore one's judging oneself a lot as well. And I think there's always been bullying. I think it's not a new thing. It's just, we can talk about it now and we can voice it, and you have a voice. And because of you, things have changed hugely for people because it's less and less acceptable because you've called it, you've named it, and you've stood up to it. And, you know, I think that's one of the most important things is that we don't have to be frightened of saying this isn't okay.
Yeah. Why do you think that something so many people get such joy from, the arts, still creates such a negative feeling in so many people?
I don't think people realise since the beginning of time, man has needed a reflection of their society, of their culture, whether it's Greek tragedy or Shakespeare or whoever. We've always needed to laugh at the people who run our countries, whether they're kings or queens in the Georgian times or the Restoration comedies, etc. We've always needed that. And I don't think it's ever been valued in that way because it's part of human nature. It's not like a new law. It's always been in us. And I think people don't realise in this time now when everyone's having a difficult time, what do? They go to Disney Plus, they go to Netflix, they watch television. Who's on the TV? Who are doing things? Who are live streaming? Actors, performers. Yep. But again, everyone thinks we're a lot of hand-kissing lovies who shout darling, which is true, obviously. But it's also, you know, they don't realise the cultural impact that it has. Oh, all you see it a lot in London, who cares? It brings in more money than football, you know. And it's a bigger idea about how we communicate with each other. And people love live performances. And yes, you know, I think people just don't realise how much, as somebody posted the other day, try not watching the television, turning on your radio, listening to music, you know, turn everything off and see how you feel. We have a constant reflection of our world to us now, all the time. And without it, I think it's a huge loss.
How do you think we can change this, apart from the next generation, like me making a stand?
I think we have to have our voice. And we have to make people realise how important it is to reflect the good and the bad, the happy and the sad. That's the deal. And if you look at all the lyrics of There's No Business Like Show Business, that's a kind of currency for life. We smile when we're low, we keep going, and we get on with the show. And that's the deal.
If you could give yourself some advice as a child, knowing what you know now, what would it be?
That you are enough. You don't have to be perfect. That you are enough today. And keep making mistakes, because that's how you learn.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it really. You are enough.
I don't think that's just good advice for you. I think that's good advice for everybody. Everybody who watches these interviews. That is amazing advice. I
have a company with my sister who's also an actress, and we do a lot, it's called Dr. Theatre, and we do a lot of work in business internationally, working with people so they can get up and talk and communicate in their business world. And I say it to them as well.
Yep. Now for some funny questions.
Yeah.
What would your dream role be, regardless of gender or animal or age or anything?
No pressure there then. Oh, I suppose doing Elphaba would be amazing, wouldn't it? I mean, you can't not. You fly about, you're doing good, you own who you are. Yeah. You know, it's a wonderful role.
Yeah, that'd be cool. What do you still get in trouble for?
Speaking out. I don't know how to zip it.
Neither do I, Harriet.
No, I know. High five. High five, please. Thank you. Yeah. No, I can't keep my mouth shut, really.
Have you ever fallen over or got someone's name wrong at a red carpet event or a premiere and got caught doing it?
We were doing a wonderful restoration play, and we started in Bristol, and the set itself was raked, and we were going on tour with it before we came to London. And we went on tour to another venue that actually had a raked stage. So we were on a slight rake anyway, and then we were on a double rake. So we were like acting on a hill. Do you know rake? You know the term rake?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were literally walking on a hill, and then somebody at the new venue polished the floor. So everyone came in their giant restoration clothes and whoop, gone. Everybody hit the deck, and you just had to keep going. And no, darling, and I've never fallen over at a red carpet event because of all my point work. I'm used to heels.
Yeah.
In fact, my children, even though they're adult now, wouldn't recognise me in the street if I wasn't wearing a heel and a lip line.
What is your most gross habit? It's my favourite thing to ask because we all have one. Even you, Harriet.
I think I may be the exception. Gross habit is downing a tub of Haagen-Dazs in less than 5 minutes. How's that?
Now it's for a round of quickfire questions.
Yep.
Text or talk?
Talk.
Favourite city?
London.
Haribo or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Heels or
What
flats?
are you thinking? How can you even ask that? Sorry. What's the next one?
Heels or flats?
You have to ask me that question. Heels.
Favourite childhood book?
The Swish of the Curtain.
Favourite song?
It's Carole King and James Taylor both sing it. You Got a Friend.
Cool. Favourite place to holiday?
Italy.
Favourite place to eat?
Oh, that's a tough one because I was a waitress in Joe Allen's, the theatrical restaurant, when it first opened, and we're about to do a big show there, live show on the 4th of July, with lots of singers coming to perform. But I also love all the Corbin and King restaurants because they're amazing spaces with theatricality and fantastic food and a really good price. It's not too expensive and the most wonderful ambiance. And also I just like a normal naff cat. Love it. I like eating, I think is what I'm saying.
Do you think we can have lunch after all this is over?
100%.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. It's non-negotiable now. It's out there.
Yep. Now it's for a tongue twister.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll say it slowly and you can repeat it after me. 9 nice night.
9 nice night.
Nurses nursing nicely.
9 nice night. Nurses nursing nicely. Is that what you said?
No.
I didn't hear you. 9 nice night.
Night. Nurses nursing nicely.
9 night. Oh, no. 9. What is it?
9 nice night nurses nursing nicely.
9. 9. There we go. Done.
Very good. Woo!
Where do you want to go for lunch, sweetheart? That's the most important thing.
Joe Allen's.
Got it.
That sounds cool. Yeah, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much, Harriet. Bye.
And you are sure I'm funny, right?
Yes, you're very funny.
Okay, very funny. Okay, I'll take that. Thank you. Bye.